Do you have faith in the judiciary when it comes to election suits?
Sadly, no. Sadly. And why am I saying that? Because they can give you Machina treatment. Bashiru Machina. Bashiru Machina, an innocent poor Muslim, trusting in his party APC, trusting the untrustable. He went for his primary, used his meager resources, contested. When he was contesting, Ahmed Lawan was contesting for the presidency. In front of everybody, koro koro. After that, APC said, Lawan is their nominee. Koro koro. False.
All eyes on Nigerian judicial as the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal commenced settings today in Abuja. The Labour Party, Peter Obi, and PDP, Atiku Abubakar, are challenging the INEC declaration of APC Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president-elect in Nigeria. The interesting days lies ahead. However, Kenneth Okonkwo, the spokesperson of the Labour Party, has this to say during a Rise TV interview. Details in the video.
The only reason for the amendment of 2022 Electoral Act is electronic transmission of result to remove the mischief of the manual collation centers where Nigerians have unanimously agreed is the albatross for free and fair election. In Mahmoud's INEC, in 2023 presidential election, Mahmoud bypassed the process of transferring electronically the result of the presidential election intentionally and willfully in order to manipulate the election to pronounce Bola Tinubu the president-elect. Why did I use the word willfully and intentionally? There was a deliberate attempt to make sure that the presidential election is not transmitted so that they will resort illegally and criminally by the law. Section 60 subsection 4 of the Electoral Act made it clear. Count and announce the result in the polling unit. Transmit and transfer in the polling unit. Subsection 5. So the polling unit independence in the conduct of our election is sacrosanct. And anything beyond that is not only illegal, but criminal. Subsection 6 very clear. Anybody that contravenes this procedure has become a criminal and should be sentenced to jail. He will either pay a fine of 500,000 naira or go to jail for at least 6 months. So all the INEC officials that committed crime in front of Nigerian people are now by law criminals. And again,
well, they haven't been found guilty yet.
No,
by
a
court of law.
The finding of guilty is to punish. I give you an example. In law, if somebody has a land and you know your own land, somebody is building on it, and you don't scream and you keep quiet to finish, when he finishes, that land belongs to him. So when somebody is stealing from you, even in the local parlance, you have to shout, thief, thief, so that people will help you to apprehend them. In the local palace, you have to shout, ole, ole. If you don't do it, you may just be found guilty of contributory negligence. So the issue here is not that the court is for them to be punished. The first act in criminal proceeding is complaint.
Okay. Yeah, but the act has to,
now,
the court has to find them guilty before it punishes.
The act has not finished.
Yeah.
In 64, subsection 4, the act says you cannot collate, you cannot collate or announce results until you confirm and verify the results with the result already transmitted and transferred, recorded in the beavers, the accredited voters, and in number of votes in the beavers. Section 64, subsection 4, subsection 5. And in subsection 6, it says if there is a dispute, in other words, somebody says, look at what I have, is different from what is in the beavers. He said you would have to stop, compare with the result in the beavers. And if there is contradiction, the one in the beavers prevails. INEC chairman threw out, and he went on to collect and announce, making it a criminal offense. Again, according to section 64.
All right.
Before you talk about healing, when there is a disease, you have to analyze the pathology. The pathology of this case is that there was a rigging. If there was no reasonable suspicion that there was no election at all, as a matter of fact, in the eyes of the law, there was no election at all. As long as there's no transmission from the polling unit. And look at, this country, the level of impunity is really very insulting. And I'm a leader of my people, where we annihilated APC and PDP in Enugu State. In my polling unit, we have about 1,000 persons, and we got about 900 and something votes. What I am saying is that almost by midnight, because I instructed the polling unit agents that they must remain there, that if the result is not transmitted from there, is of no effect. They remained, and then reported to me, sir, the Senate is going, the House of Rep is going, the presidential is not going. I don't need any other person to tell me. That's a willful manipulation of beavers. Because when you have 3 elections, one cannot go, 2 go, and the third one did not go.
Yeah, that certainly
so I raised alarm.
Raises questions.
Good. And I even raised alarm before the election on Professor Mahmood on Channels Television Thursday. I said he's a suspect, and I have my doubts. Because if a rec openly told you that certain tribe, that they are migrants in Lagos, and you saw evidence that all the PVCs that we are not shared, we are sharing the same name, and the rec is defending it. If you are the chief returning officer, you don't remove that rec, then with profound respect, you are complicit. And we saw what happened. I said it, that Lagos election is going to come this way. We led in Lagos election by more than 900 and something thousand votes. Don't take my words for it. Take the words of a PDP person in Lagos. That Labour led with this amount by their own agent's record. You know what? P2B won in the political capital of Nigeria, telling you that people that are near the administrative headquarters have acknowledged that he is the best administrator. He won in the commercial nerve center of Lagos, telling you that businessmen, elite businessmen and ordinary traders have recognized that he is the best commercially inclined administrator we should have. He won in national chairman of APC's polling unit. He won in the polling unit of the director general of APC. He won everywhere in Nigeria, north, south, east, west. He's the only person that got 25% of the votes in all the geopolitical zones. Only person. And nobody had more states than him. Do you want him to kill these people politically before you give him his mandate?
Well, let me take you up on that question of Lagos, for instance, because Lagos obviously is the state with the largest number of registered voters and the largest number of people who collected their PVCs. So the expectation was that you would have upwards of at least 5 million voters, but they got barely 1.4 million.
Yes.
In your assessment, all that youth energy has been either maliciously or apathetically dissipated?
Good. There's no apathetically. It was maliciously destroyed. The votes, and some of them were open. All the places, as a matter of fact, they were warned by the one Baale of Ibarra. The tape was out there. He said, we've received directive from the top. And Bola Tinubu made the directive openly. He said it openly to his followers. Power is not served a la carte. You have to fight for it at all costs. You have to grab it at all costs. You have to snatch it at all costs. And you have to run away with it at all costs. And this was exactly what happened in Lagos State. And the Baale of Ibarra, or whatever, confessed that they received the directive to do that. And they warned everybody that if you don't do that, we will destroy you. It's there in the open. And that was what happened in Lagos. The one that hurts me is that women were not even spared of this. You saw this picture of a woman whose eye was nearly blinded. I don't know the savages that we have. What I do to women, I hold them, I cherish them, I love them, and I make LOVE to them. Forgive me. But I don't understand.
That rather takes the conversation in a different direction.
I don't understand that you will get a woman whose only problem is that she came to exercise her franchise that you told her is safe and secured, and you brutalized her. Those people are not human beings, they are savages.
Okay.
You know that people have been threatened. They went to Southeast and told them they must sit at home, they will not vote. Of course, it was discarded. Then they went to Lagos and openly told them, if you are not coming out to vote APC, don't come out. And even on election day, they carried out the threats. So those ones that, some of them that had come and heard it, some of them ran back. Then again, after the voting, remember, they have not shown you the list of accredited voters by the Beavers, because they willfully destroyed a lot of the votes of the opposition. They will now have to bring down the number of accredited voters, because one vote above it becomes overvoting. That's why you've not seen all those recorded voters. Can you see, I'm sorry to say this, the silliness of this? After collating and announcing against the law, putting it, not in the polling unit, in their government houses. After doing that, and they are releasing it at their leisure to tell you the level of impunity. After doing that, they will not tell you, we have inputted 140,000.
But INEC said he had a glitch.
Glitch.
Can you prove that they were uploading these results from their government houses?
Very, very, I know what it was just called res ipsa loquito. Not even any objective, not even any oral evidence can contradict objective reality. What glitch did you witness in the senatorial seat? Have you seen any one person complaining about that?
No.
What glitch did you witness in the House of Rep? This is the same machine that is organizing the three. One machine, Beavers, not two.
Is it possible that...
Yes. So
like
it is
your party.
Impossible.
No, but let me ask you.
And let me tell you...
I'm not playing the devil's advocate. I want to ask you.
Play the devil's advocate. And you're going to help me.
Based on this fact,
good.
We did see political parties that didn't have candidates for the National Assembly elections, such as your party. So, in that wise, you would have less candidates and less results to upload. However, when it came to the presidential elections, you did have 18 political parties, which is more. Do you think that perhaps that's why we saw the glitch for the president?
It was overloaded,
is it possible?
basically.
Is it possible? And INEC did say in that statement that they had not upgraded to a national election level from an off-season cycle. That's what INEC said.
After collecting 305 billion naira of borrowed money, which our generations are going to pay for, any INEC man that tells you that should be sitting in jail. What did he do with the money? INEC did a mock voting.
They did.
These are all deceits. These are the reasons why such poor innocent lady went to vote. After doing the mock, they said, Nigerians, we are ready. Okay, at that point you notice the so-called glitch. Section 24 said, it has become an emergency. You can't fulfill this law. The only choice you have is to postpone. Nothing else.
Right, so let's just be
you
clear.
You cannot proceed in criminality. You can't.
Let's be clear on the
and
point.
Section 24 said it clearly.
Right, let's be clear on what you're saying.
Yes.
The crux of your anger, and
yes.
by that I mean that of your party and your supporters, and the allegations of rigging, is the fact that INEC failed to upload in real time the results from the various polling units into its server in order to prevent any manipulation, but instead went through the process of manual entry and reading of the results. And in your assessment, that increased the chances of manipulation and misrepresentation. But you don't actually have any evidence of that manipulation and misrepresentation.
I am telling you the evidence and you're reiterating it.
Well, I'm asking, we need to be
the
very
first
clear on the
evidence
points you're
is
making.
that 3 elections were held on the same day. You were not told there was any glitch until 24.
Yeah, but Adesua made a
hours.
very good point when she said that the number of people
Yes.
who were being
I was
uploaded and the
coming
number
to-
of political parties who
Yes.
were being uploaded for the presidential election
Yes.
could easily, possibly,
Yes.
not probably, but possibly, could have overwhelmed the system.
Good. INEC knew the number of voters. INEC knew their system. And the funny thing is that in the presidential election, you have only one constituency. Between the Senate and the House of Reps, you have about 469 constituencies. And in 469 constituencies, no glitch. He was going. That ought to crash more. Each constituency has its own 18 times 18 by 469. That ought to crash more. It did not crash. Nothing happened to it. In the presidency, one constituency. And they are telling you glitch. And they did not tell you the glitch before they started. And they said they tested. They did a mock examination.
Yeah, but with a limited
They commenced. That's what I'm
trial.
saying. That's
Yeah, with a
sample.
limited number of-
That sample
Yeah,
is
sample.
allowed. And it worked. And they already knew their capacity. It was not as something that on that day was when they realized the number of voters. They already knew. And then they did not tell us that there was a glitch.
Right.
Until, do you know that after 48 hours, there was only one state that was announced within 48 hours. No beavers, no accredited voters, no as in transmission. You didn't tell us there was a glitch. It was when Nigerians started shouting. They said there was a glitch. Meanwhile, that there was a glitch is not an excuse. In law, when you want to defend yourself, general traverse is not a defense at all.
Right. Okay. Let me ask
It has
you
to be
this.
specific.
Yeah.
It has to be mentioned.
Right.
In which polling unit was there a glitch?
Right.
Throughout Nigeria, not one polling unit sent any result electronically to their server. Throughout the whole Nigeria, not one polling unit. There was no election. I put it to them.
Okay, well, you've made that point and you've made it stridently. You and Nigerians trust that it'll be a fair, independent process? Do you have faith in the judiciary when it comes to election suits?
Sadly, no. Sadly. And why am I saying that? Because they can give you Machina treatment. Bashiru Machina. Bashiru Machina, an innocent poor Muslim, trusting in his party APC, trusting the untrustable. He went for his primary, used his meager resources, contested. When he was contesting, Ahmed Lawan was contesting for the presidency. In front of everybody, koro koro. After that, APC said Lawan is their nominee. Koro koro. And when they went to court, Ahmed Lawan stopped at Court of Appeal and said he will not appeal. And the party, political party, went to appeal. And yet they gave order in favor of the Ahmed Lawan. Knowing that they cannot give order positively, they now relied on technicality. Meanwhile, justice, the present principle of law by the Supreme Court, is that you cannot terminate justice on the altar of sheer technicality. That is the position of the law. That Supreme Court denied the poor Bashiru Machina his nomination based on they would have used writ of summons instead of originating summons. Meanwhile, in the practice direction, they say you should use originating summon. Meaning, because they want to snatch it from him, even if he had used writ of summon, they said no, in the practice direction, you ought to use originating summon. But Machina said this is open robbery. And you know what? Unfortunately, I agree with him. So, whether I have my doubts, oh yes, because you can deliver judgment without delivering justice.
Incredible.
So what they are doing is delivering judgment, not delivering justice. So whether I have my doubts, Boku,
okay,
plenty.
All right. Two quick things and very quickly.
Okay.
Can you define this relationship between Labour Party and PDP that we're beginning to see in the aftermath of this election? And secondly, the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, because he has been, he has been given certificates of return by INEC, identifying him as Nigeria's next president.
And before you go, let me make the point that we were supposed to have someone. We extended an invitation to the ruling APC party. They confirmed they were going to give us a guest, and then just 15 minutes before they were due to go on air, they said to us that the guest will no longer be available. So let's just be clear on that. Kenneth, I want to thank you very much indeed. And Kenneth Okonkwo is a Nollywood star, lawyer and spokesperson for the Labour Party's Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, I just want to make one comment. I don't want anybody to address me by any title again in Nigeria. Nobody in Nigeria today is honorable enough to bear any title. Worst of it, if you call me chief, because it sounds like thief. So please, I don't want, don't know doctor,
okay,
no nothing.
We'll keep that in mind.
You only add minister because to know that I'm a man, especially in this modern time when people don't know.
Let's go.
All right, guys, this is what I'm going to be heading the video today. Do you enjoy this particular video? If you do, please do not skip without you commenting your thoughts in the comment sections and give these videos a thumbs up. This is the only way you can support the growth of this channel. For all our returning subscribers who year to year or time to time always come to support the growth of our content, thank you very much. May God continue to bless you. We thank you very much for all your big support that you have given to this platform for making Plan B TV to work out. Thank you. Until we meet again, do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll be the first person to be notified anytime we upload the new content. If you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe and be among the Plan B TV team. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Peace out.
Don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you share your support, now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bed.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV.